Hello, Eagles fans. Eagles won 21-10 against Minnesota. The return of Sammy Sleeves at the link. Um, first quarter, with the turnovers were just ridiculous. Both sides of the team, both of the game there. Um, Fumble, interception, return, goes right back to another fumble, interception. It's funny with Bradford, seeing him a couple times at a different aspect. Um, he's average. He wasn't. I don't understand what the whole. Everybody was so concerned about if they're going to boo him or not. I mean, absolutely, you should boo him. Seemed like they. I didn't go to the game. It sounded pretty good with the crowd. Crowd looked really into it. I know Peterson talked about it in the locker room after the game about the fans. So that's good. Plus when they win, his post game locker room talks are just incredible. As a player, I couldn't see a player not wanting to play for somebody like that. So credit to him for that. The alarming stat, one, Eagles didn't run the ball very well, didn't throw the ball very well. Wentz had a couple picks, forced a few, which I'll get to in a second. But Huff was your leading receiver, 4 catches, 39 yards. That's something there. Pretty much everybody wrote him off, and 4 catches, plus a crazy return on that one, which is beautiful. Which I wouldn't advise doing a flip into the end zone again. I mean, we've learned, 1, you can get hurt. 2, we've seen enough with Deshaun Jackson doing his antics, which I wouldn't mind him coming back to Philly either. But no reason for that. Just run the ball into the end zone. Act like you've been there before, even though I don't think he has this year. Jordan Matthews and Nelson Agholor combined for 5 catches for a huge 20 yards. That's your 1 and 2. You got it's amazing. Turner, preseason. I know, I don't want to be one of the Turner's got to get time. He made some nice catches. He got open. Granted, it was against second and third string guys. He still got open. You got Barner, who's active for the game, who was on the field a couple times. Didn't touch the ball at all. I'm sure they're using him on special teams. But with a receiving core who can't get open, Minnesota has a very good secondary. They're pretty solid there. But to see Agholor on the one ill-advised pass by Wentz, he threw into basically double coverage on Agholor, but there were 2 guys still floating around with Matthews as they were doing a crossing pattern. And I believe a linebacker actually was in the middle of that too, laid out and missed the ball on that pick. But I've never seen a receiver, if you got wheels, like Pinkston wasn't, as trashy as Pinkston was, he could still get a little bit of separation with his speed. Couldn't give you that much afterwards. Got a ton of pass interference calls just by going deep. Agholor can't get that separation. He can't fight for a ball. He's the softest receiver I've ever seen as in an Eagles uniform. It's just amazing. He gets beat on position and doesn't fight at all. Gets knocked around, doesn't fight for that. So you're not going to get a pass interference call if you're just going to get run off the ball constantly. That first interception Wentz threw, the deep ball, it was picked off. I guess that was against Washington. You still had to. If you're not going to catch it, you still got to fight for the ball. You got to give me something, man. I mean, he gave nothing. And in the play yesterday, or on Sunday, he got sandwiched out on a play with no fight at all and did nothing. You got Turner, who's on the inactive on the practice squad. Can he be that much worse? I know, the positive out of Jordan Matthews and Nelson Agholor is they're good blocking. They said that a couple times, especially with a wide receiver screen to the 6'5" Dorial Green Beckham, which I would think you're going to run a screen. You're going to run somebody speedy, a little elusive, maybe hard to see. Not a 6'5" guy who's towering, who lumbers down the field, basically as a tight end. So I wasn't crazy about that call. Still love to see Sproles get out with more running back screens and get out there. You can't see the guy. Plus, his first few steps, he's up and running. So I'd like to see that. Ertz, 1 for 14. That's again, he's supposed to be this big contract elite tight end. He can't get off. I don't know if it's the plays, the play calling. I don't know what's going on there. I don't get those aerials. I don't have my season tickets anymore to see, if he's open or not, or if he's staying in the block or chip or whatever. I don't know what's going on there. But then you flip on to, New England, and I know Gronk is Gronk. He's at a whole nother level. But I'm watching him just run right down the field. And when you're concerned about other wide receivers, somebody has got to be let go. And unfortunately, amazingly, they let Gronk go. There's so many times where he's just left out there. Follow some of those play calls that New England does. Do something like that. Gonzalez. I mean, there's a handful of tight ends who could do that. Garcon, who's listed as a wide receiver, but he gets out like that. He's huge. Jimmy Graham. Gonzalez used to do it. There's a handful of them. The big ass dude from San Diego who he doesn't. He played basketball. He just started playing football, and then he was their tight end. I can't remember his name right now. But guys like that, man, it's just like get out there and utilize him. And maybe he's not that good. I don't know. I mean, he showed glimpses before. And if he's going to show glimpses like that, you got to be able to put up. Heard that Reuben Franks was talking about Treggs. He's active, but he's on the roster, on the current roster. Was inactive for the game. Supposedly he's got wheels. Big thing that concerns me is if you're going to keep doing all these little short patterns, decent secondaries are going to start jumping. They're going to start jumping routes, and they're going to start picking off Wentz, and they're going to go pick six. It's not going to just be an incomplete pass. It's a pick six. When you're throwing 10 yards on those little cuts, those guys get it. They're gone. Very similar to a Malcolm Jenkins touchdown 2 weeks ago. So if you got to get somebody who's got some separation. Wow, sun just poked through, sorry. Which is probably actually better that you don't see me. You get some separation, you do some double moves, you stretch it out. I know I got into a little disagreement with Zomp the other day, but you got to have somebody that can get down the field. If you're just going to play 10-yard passes all the time, it's really not that hard to adjust. I mean, I'm not a defensive coordinator, but I'm just thinking, if you're just going to go 10 yards, what the hell? And then you could probably blitz a little bit more because you don't need that many guys down there because they're all going to be in a tight pack. I'd like to see them do that. I'd like to, I don't really know anything about Treggs, just heard him, and I hate to just jump on something because everybody else is saying it, but if the guy's got wheels and he can give you a little bit out there, I mean, that's huge. Last night at the Tony Bruno podcast, I got the update that Schefter was putting out there that Eagles are looking at picking up Torrey Smith. One, that'd be amazing if the 49ers are going to deal him. If Chip is going to be involved with an Eagles trade, which would be be pretty funny. But again, yeah, he's an older guy, but still, I mean, he offers something. He offers some experience. At least he knows position, get some possession, and be able to fight for a ball, which is what they're lacking, extremely lacking. You look and you see that team, and it's like Wentz is. People were talking about Wentz regressing. I don't think you can regress in 5 weeks. I mean, other teams are starting to game plan for you. They're starting to pick up things. They're picking up their plays, stuff like that. I think he forced a couple balls in there that he didn't need to do. Supposedly Selleck was open on the one. That was an incomplete pass. Selleck was wide open. So maybe Wentz is just missing the guys. I don't know, but there's really not much of an outcry that he's missing receivers. I know McNabb used to do that with Mitchell all the time. He used to, Freddie Mitchell would be standing there with his arms, just flapping his arms, and McNabb would look at him and just, boom, shoot down to throw somebody else. Mostly, incomplete at somebody's feet. But still. But overall, I mean, the defense was ridiculous. They hit Bradford 6 times. And, again, you get to hear that, if that quarterback, he gets hit, he doesn't like getting hit. I tweeted out earlier, I don't know one quarterback who does. And if they do, they're not going to be lasting that long. I mean, if you're looking to initiate contact as a quarterback, you're crazy. And Bradford, though, it was funny watching him. He just after a couple shots, he just started laying out and trying to get away and just basically falling. At one point, his offensive lineman just pushed him down on the ground. So he's got, he can't get away. We saw it last year. Connor Barwin was talking about how Schwartz game planned where they know he's not going to be able to run. So they were just going to go straight up the gut. And he said that the defense actually, or the offensive line actually packs it in like a punt block. How they just kind of engulf him and let him throw out of that pocket. So, Barno was saying that if they get close enough, just start swinging. Well, they ended up getting a couple strip sacks. And if you didn't see Brandon Graham talking to Eskin after the game, it was hilarious. Eskin didn't credit him with a sack, and Brandon Graham flipped on him. It was pretty funny. Anytime somebody's going to go after Eskin, it's pretty good. But it was a great win. It was a great win being the underdogs against an undefeated team coming in. That was really nice. So it didn't look like it in the beginning, but second, third, and fourth quarters, the 3-0 Eagles came back, which was nice to see. So making them 4-2. You got Dallas coming in. Oh, they're going into Dallas Sunday night. I'll just little prediction right now. Dak Prescott's going to get hurt. I'm thinking Jordan Hicks is going to put a lick on him and knock him out of the game. They went, 3 quarterbacks and knocking some guys out in the beginning of the season. I think they're going to come back. I think they're going to. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what they do. I think they got the confidence back now, and I'll put something out on there. I'll look at Dallas's numbers and everything like that. But I can tell you right now, like looking at the run, I know Minnesota was kind of weak with the run going into the game. Eagles had, they were pretty much in a prevent, I guess, at one point, so they were racking up some yards there. But the Dallas offensive line looks good. Zeke. Again, if you're running 5 yards every time before somebody touches you, you're going to look pretty good. Dak's really not throwing the ball downfield. He's doing a lot of short stuff, but you got to respect the run. So, of course, that's going to open up, so we'll see how that goes. But I'll do that probably Friday. I'll be in Florida at a college showcase for my daughter. So I will probably do something down there. But I will talk to you guys, and have a good one.